is totally not my third time filming this.
Oh man, I just knocked over my camera. I'm picking it up. Sorry about that.
Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is kind of going to be like a trip down memory lane, if you will. Now, if you know anything about me, you would know that I love Littlest Pet Shops. Hell, before I even had this channel, I was an LPS tuber. I made the classics such as LPS Homeless short film and the LPS It trailer. But besides what I created actively being in that community, as I grew up, just a lot of specific videos have stuck with me as like unofficial core memories, if you will, as like corny as that sounds. So we're just gonna be discussing that today. I don't really know how else to introduce this video, but I've been seeing the phrase like changed my brain chemistry a lot online lately, and it applies to this community so much. LPStube changed my brain chemistry in so many ways. Like, if I was not an LPStube, I would not be the same person I am today. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now we have our elephant in the room, LPS Popular. Do I even need to explain the premise of this series? People who weren't even an LPStube or like didn't collect LPS even know about this series. It's gotten that mainstream. You know, LPS Popular really walked so that Euphoria could run.
Personally, I think it's the other way around.
I actually did do an LPS Popular video, like recently. It did pretty well for like what my other videos were doing at the time, and I'm just not proud of that video. If anyone's noticed, it's actually on unlisted now. I hate how it turned out, mostly because I lost half my footage. If anyone remembers, I addressed it at the beginning of the video. I literally had like almost a meltdown over that. I was so distressed. So it was either scrap a video I was really excited to make and move on, or post a edited down shell of what it could have been or once was, and you guys can see which one I chose. So I wanted to still add LPS Popular in here to say, first of all, it's iconic, but also a video will be coming this year. I started the script back in December, I think it was. I haven't rewatched anything yet, because I'm gonna have to rewatch everything, because obviously this was like March 2022, so I don't remember everything. I don't remember anything, to be exact. I have very short-term memory, so. But yeah, LPS Popular will always just have like a special place in my heart. And speaking about series here on LPStube, how can I not mention LPS Pre-K? LPS Pre-K is a series centered around our main character, Coco Martin, who's moved from Iowa and is entering her first day at her new preschool, Little Paws. The twist is here, obviously they don't act like your typical preschoolers. In the words of the creator of this series, that would be boring.
Just ask yourself, how interesting do you really think a series about normal preschoolers would be?
I could you not, the creator, LPS Jazzmatazz, she had to address it in like the second episode and be like,
yeah guys, actually that's the point.
So typical drama, like a cliche high school series, you know, with boys and like having an outcast character, new girl at school trope. But with the element of like them being in preschool you really have to think about, I just think it's like ridiculously funny. And the intro alone like had me rolling on the floor when I rewatched it. If you don't know the intro, the theme song, I guess, is Boss by Fifth Harmony. And like there's a cat twerking in the intro. But out of the like series I mentioned on here, I did rewatch this one. I mean, the episodes aren't really that lengthy, so I was like kind of wanting to just revisit my childhood, and it was so funny. So like I recommend the rewatch to anyone who remembers this show. You're gonna see a running theme of like comedy, I guess, in this, because stuff I found funny has obviously stuck with me. There was also plenty of like original characters on LPStube. Like one I specifically remember was by LPS Go Green Girl, who is now going by Lex's Lair on YouTube. A character named Mr. Fart. He was a part of a series of short like skits that she made, and it was called The Adventures of Mr. Fart. I actually have a core memory of me getting Mr. Fart, or LPS 623 to be more specific. See, I became like obsessed with thrifting. Like I'm obsessed with thrifting now. I literally am thrifting this sweater, I thrifted this sweater, you get my point. But I was obsessed at this time with thrifting because I wanted to find LPS rares. I wanted to find good LPS, like The LPS Popular cast at the Goodwill, that's what I was looking for. I never did reach that high, but I could dream. So although I was never able to find Savannah Reed at the Goodwill and still don't have her to this day, I was fortunate enough to find Mr. Fart. This was like 2013, 2012, and I went with my grandma looking at the Goodwill, and I didn't see anything. Like, I was actually about to leave the toy aisle and like give up for the day when this Goodwill employee comes out in the like corner of my eye, and I see this huge container, and by container I don't just mean like a sandwich Tupperware. Like, I'll put something on the screen. It was a big container for, like, you know, if you think about it, it's just plastic toys. They're not really that spacious, but, and no, it wasn't just me who noticed this, of course. There was another grown lady there, and she caught wind of this as the employee was, like, walking over with this container, and, like, there was, like, a little, table. It had, like, other hard toys that weren't LPS and stuff, and the employee, like, poured it in there. So it became a literal battle, a collective battle between my grandma, myself, and this lady, just grabbing as many as they could until they were all gone off that table. I mean, hey, I got at least 30 to 50 out of that between me and my grandma, and they were only a couple cents each, which isn't even that bad considering Goodwill prices now. I've tried LPS thrifting since then, because I'm an avid thrifter. I always keep my eye open, but you know, you really just have to be at the right place in the right time with certain finds like this. This was like my holy grail Goodwill find. Literally the best thrifting find I think I've had to date. Also, side note, Mr. Fart has glass eyes, and I think he's my only glass-eyed LPS. I think there's I want to say there's at least a couple other glass-eyed LPS, but there's a very slim few. I just feel like glass-eyed pets are so underrated. I talked about this in my Bradzilla's video that I said, like, I remember the dolls having glass eyes because it was something that stood out to me. It's the same with this. Like, I just think glass eyes on toys are really cool. Like, that's such a cool design to me. It makes it feel like it's like a real pupil. They look so fucking cool. They're sick. What can I say? Also, I can't think of a more fitting name for this LPS than Mr. Fart, because he literally comes with a piece of shit and a pooper scooper on like a newspaper. And like this, I think he's a single, I was gonna say in the set he comes in, but he's just like a single pet. This next one isn't really a select video, but it actually a creator. I remember watching LPS Gerrie Berrie, and she immediately came to mind when I was like brainstorming like channels to look back on to kind of like jog my memory a bit, since my list was pretty slim at first. I'm actually shocked she doesn't have more subscribers. Like, I don't know why me as a kid put all these creators on like such a big pedestal in my mind. I kind of expected them all to have at least above 100K, which isn't a completely lie. There are like some exceptions to that rule in this video, but like, she was one of the first LPS tubers I found that did like that bloodier, gorier, mature audience type of style of LPS videos where it's like, oh, this is obviously not for my age demographic, even though they're like plastic toys that I enjoy. But, you know, I watched it anyway. I had a good time. I think the first video I saw, though, was The Green Ribbon, which is actually a short story creepypasta type thing. I had never heard of it. Creepypasta is definitely not the right word, but I think you guys get the gist of it. I don't know if this is like a widely known story, but like I didn't know it until I watched her like LPS video. It's like someone narrating. It's not her, it's like probably a narration from online of the story. But if you don't know what the Green Ribbon story is, it's basically like about this girl. She always wears a green ribbon, you know, even her partner doesn't know, and when she's finally about to die and like they've grown old together, she says, oh, you can take the ribbon off, and then her head falls off. It's like the green ribbon was keeping her head on, that's why she never took it off. Another video I remembered of Gerrie Berrie's was this like addiction short film, which, not to go on another tangent, but I used to watch a ton of short films. Like, Are You Normal? Or Did You Watch a World Where Gay's the Norm and Straight's the Minority? And as soon as I realized there were LPS short films, it was like a gold mine for me, okay? Because I also had like a PSA watching phase, and between the two, just like these films kind of opened my eyes to not only like the fact that I'm gonna go to film school and that's like a passion of mine. I mean, I figured that out through being a part of LPStube, but also it opened my eyes to like the world around me as my brain was still developing. Gerrie Berrie also made a coming out video, which I remember like very well because, I mean, As I mentioned in my Tomodachi video, when it came to my sexuality at first, I did a lot of my own research, and that included like creators I was watching and stuff like that. I mean, I am an Issa Twain stan since I was like 10, so like you couldn't expect anything less of me. Luckily, I am fortunate enough to say that the creator, Page Turner Productions, is like way after my time on LPStube.
June is LGBT Pride Month, but I'm just as special as any of these people here. I deserve my own month. Sharon month.
And I wasn't really exposed to that misinformation side of it. I'll find the post if I can again, but I remember reading a while ago that Page Turner Productions actually did apologize, and they're actually locked out of that YouTube account, so they can't like take any of the videos down or something that were spreading misinformation. Personally, I have not watched any of those videos. I've only seen clips on Twitter, like one where it's like, LGBT team assemble!
LGBT team assemble!
I'm going on a tangent. But anyway, another video I remember so well, which I actually realized might have been one of the last LPS videos I watched, since it came out around the time that I quit my channel. But it was this video where she's reacting to someone who reacted to her coming out video, and it's this homophobic LPS tuber.
Coming out.
I hate that rainbows had become an LGBT thing, because you know who created a rainbow? God.
Who's like a really small account. I can't remember her username, but everyone on Twitter calls her the homophobic Chihuahua girl, so that's what I'm gonna call her. I want to say it's like a littlest LPS fan, but I can't remember the rest. But she's made like a ton of like the questionable videos, I will say.
Quote different is very important.
Well, in this moment, I'm different. I'm the only one who sees being gay as a bad thing.
On the topic of creators though, I have to mention Piaslittlecustoms. LPS Customs have just like baffled my mind for years. Like, how the fuck do these people do it? I got out some of my LPS Customs for this video because, you know, I had to show off my artistic abilities because I'm just so talented, guys. More like autistic abilities. Oh my gosh, I love the focus on this camera. Okay. This is one of the first ones where I kind of just tried to like recolor it, I guess, and I think there was like a gem or something stuck there, but obviously it fell off. Kind of looks like a boob. I actually really like this color, so it's like a shame that this is just like a shitty nail polish job. This would be like a really cool color for a Littlest Pet Shop. And luckily for these, I did have doubles, so that's why I customized these, but
Not everyone was so fortunate.
this is another one. You can see it's not my strong suit. I could not do the eyes, so that's why I wasn't that good at LPS Customs. Here's one where I tried to like experiment with the eyes a bit, and I don't know what that is. Okay, this one is actually kind of good. Like, besides the eyes being a bit crusty, it's just like painted blue and it has some like sparkles on it. I think I used like glitter glue. If I literally just cleaned up the eyes, this one's kind of fire. And this last one I just is a lot to unpack, so I'm just gonna warn you. What is going on? What? There's so much going on here, like the different colors, the sparkles, the Sharpie eyelashes. What did I do to this poor German Shepherd? But while there were and still are many LPS customizers, Piaslittlecustoms is just a channel that I specifically picked because I stumbled upon it and it was very popular. Her content was just focused on LPS customs strictly, from FNAF customs to Grumpy Cat and even Pokemon and Undertale. I was really there for the FNAF content. I think most people were. I remember this one video specifically where she had it was like a Foxy custom, but the setup, she did like the little setup of like Foxy's curtains and stuff. It was so cool. But yeah, LPS customs are definitely one of the coolest parts of the LPS community to me. I just think it's so fun that people can take these Littlest Pet Shops and like make it their art form, and like I know there's some people who sell them and like run shops, and like good for them, you know, with that side hustle. If I had the artistic ability to do so, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, I'm jealous of anyone who could make a decent LPS custom and like recreate the eyes. Something that did confuse me though with LPStube was this one day. It's called LPStube Day. It's an annual holiday held every May 10th, and in which LPS creators and like fans come together and celebrate their passion for Littlest Pet Shops and like make making little sketch up videos. It was originally created by a YouTuber of the name BrownBTV, which may sound familiar. They're a very popular content creator. And LPStube Day is still celebrated today, I believe, with the people who are still within the community. Shout out to LPS Alice, because I watched this video like a year ago, but I rewatched it for this video because I remembered it like in the crevice of my mind. BrownBTV is actually believed to be a famous VTuber now. She goes by the name Gara Gara. I don't think I'm saying that right, but it totally shocked me. It's so interesting to see how, like, I guess some of the creators that abandoned their channels, like how they moved on and how they kind of have contributed their experience with LPStube into their new art forms. But yeah, I always remember being confused by this day because, like, I wanted to somehow be involved in the creative process so badly each year, and then when it come around, it just seemed like you really had to have some connection with at least one bigger LPS tuber, the bigger creators of the community. Not to say that's like absolutely the case of what happened. This is just like my recalled vivid memories of it, because I feel like one of them is gonna pull up in my comments like,
actually.
This is not dunking on any of them. I still think it's so cool that they put this together. There's also like LPS Con that I think LPS Con still goes on, because I saw like Mimi stars go to it when I was still on TikTok. But yeah, stuff like that from the community I honestly think is super cool. They did like little award ceremonies each year, and it's like, yeah, me with like 5,000 followers is not gonna be nominated, but 12-year-old me could dream. Another LPS tuber that LPS Alice talked about in her video was my LPS Pet World, who now has an animation channel called Jelly Jess. Again, really cool to see how like these people have moved on and like use their experience as LPS tubers, how that contributed to their art form in the future. But a series of hers I was obsessed with was Dares with Dopey. Quote unquote like comedy skits. Videos were cringe to me as I made like my own content on LPStube. But you can see such a pattern of like funny skit videos with a main character piquing my interest, like Dares with Dopey, Mr. Fart. And how can I mention comedy skits without mentioning Alina Sanders' LPS My Strange Addiction series? If you live under a rock, My Strange Addiction is basically a TV show from the company TLC, where each episode revolves around different people, like real life people, who have these strange and sometimes unhealthy addictions. It's not surprising how this formula could work perfectly for LPS videos, since skits were already like wildly popular with the community. Now these videos were always a super fun watch too, and I think the first one I saw was the Melanie Martinez one by Alina Sanders. If you're wondering why I'm mentioning this creator specifically, it's because she really popularized it within the LPS community. Like everyone started making these type of videos. Even though it's not like an original concept, I do credit her for that. Plus hers made it feel like you were really watching the TV show for like 12-year-old me. I was like, whoa, I want to do this. And I did do it. I had multiple, like there was one character who was addicted to roasting because of rice gum.
This is 16-year-old Cleo. Cleo is addicted to roasting. Okay, so how it all started was I stumbled across this video called These Kids Must Be Stopped.
There was a Harley Quinn obsessed 13-year-old.
Oh, good night, Harley. My outfit is like a teensy bit inspired by Harley Quinn. You could probably tell. I dyed my fur blue like Harley. Probably like the other side is like red. Well, my mom wouldn't let me dye it red. I'm so mad at her. And now it just looks like...
And even a ducky Momo. Yes, you heard me right. Like from Phineas and Ferb. Ferb?
That moved. Put your hands up. His hands are already up. Shut up. Well, you shut up, Dan. You know, I wish you were like Dan from Dan and Phil, instead of just being like your ugly Dan self.
I just remember these being super fun to make, like the sets for, like printing out little posters and stuff, and, you know, make in general, the creative process for like brainstorming ideas. But my most viewed one by far was about a girl addicted to slime, and it got 80,000 views.
Dirk, it's time for a little nap. Good night.
That is more views than half my videos from
the past year.
Now, if you grew up watching LPS videos, you've more than likely heard of Cookie Swirl C. Cookie Swirl C was a toy YouTuber that happened to make a lot of LPS videos, and can we just talk about real quick? She's a VTuber now. What is the theme of VTubers in this video? But anyway, one of these videos that ended up turning into like a little series she made with the mommy and baby sets that Hasbro released in 2014-ish, right about before they ditched like the old gen designs. But I put this on the the list specifically because I remember this graphic birth scene where one of the mommies was giving birth on the couch, noises and everything, Play-Doh for the blood, and I just like jotted this down in my notes. And then on Twitter, like I would say like 2 weeks later, from an account I follow called LPS Out of Context, I learned that it's lost media, like that Cookies Will See took down this episode and no, it's like not online anymore. And all we have is the thumbnail for proof, thanks to this Twitter user. I don't want to butcher the username. We also have the direct link to the said episode. It's episode 12 in the series, but if you click on it, it literally just says unavailable because it's been like privated, I assume. But I'm going to still provide the link in the description in case someone thinks there's some way they can recover it. Maybe there's another website, I don't know. But please, if you know where it is, like if you find a re-upload or you're able to find it, let me know. I really desperately want to rewatch it now.
I lied.
Basically, the Twitter user I was talking about in this clip actually found the whole video on the Wayback Machine, but I clicked it on mobile, so it didn't take me to the Wayback Machine for some reason. But when I was editing this video, I wanted to get like a screen recording of me clicking the link and it saying unavailable. The link through Twitter took me to the Wayback Machine, and I was like, oh, they actually found the whole video. So, enjoy, or skip this and spare yourself. The craziest part is literally this video was archived on my golden birthday. Why am I'm the chosen one. I was meant to show you guys.
Oh yeah, something's definitely coming out. Lisa. Here it comes.
So if you're a part of the niche audience that remembers even half of what I said in this video, you've obviously heard of Bring Back the Old LPS, that movement, when everyone was calling Hasbro to bring back the beloved LPS designs that we all knew and just loved so dearly. At the time I saw New Gen in the stores for the first time, I can remember so specifically. Basically, I was at Target with my grandma and I ran to the toy aisle per usual just to see if there were any LPS I didn't have, you know, to add to my collection. And I was met with whatever the fuck this was. When I left that store, I left a part of myself there in the aisle. That very sighting really changed the course of my life as I would know it. I went home and ran to YouTube, typing in the words, "New Littlest Pet Shops." And this is the first thing I see. This video by Rainbow Leopard 315.
But what the heck happened to them? When I went to Target today, you know what I saw? I saw these. These things? What are these things? They're freaking Littlest Pet Shops. What the heck? What the heck? I mean, that is not Littlest Pet Shop. Like, this is a demon.
Can I just say that Pop the Weasel in the background really just ties everything in together? But I rewatched like the first 2 minutes of this video and it just really puts into perspective of what 10-year-old me felt exactly seeing the new gen pets in the store. The Bring Back the Old LPS is really one of those things where you had to be there to really get the outrage. And on that note, luckily, Littlest Pet Shops are coming back. I believe it was in 2024 or 2025. I'll put the article on the screen now, but although we don't have an exact, like, we haven't been told what gen is going to be brought back, so it could be like the original designs for all we know. I do have high hopes that it's going to be the old gen LPS. I say this even though I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but I'm really hoping. I just think considering with how in the years to come, even when trying to fix their mistake, the LPS brand just didn't stick around for a reason. Because let's face it, no one was buying them. A lot of collectors, including me, just moved on because it was either, you know, new pets that we didn't even like the designs of or partly liked once they kind of did an upgrade from whatever that was, or just overpriced old gen pets that we really didn't want to like have to budget for. And when shopping for LPS online too, it can be tricky because there are just so many fakes. Personally, I can't say I've been scammed, but the amount of videos I'd watch of people like, I got scammed, and they would like film an unboxing and be like, whoa, what is this? But specifically, I got this one video I recommended of this mom who accidentally got her own daughter like fake LPS off eBay, and she was kind of talking about how to tell them apart. And this is just going off my memory actually because this video has since been like deleted. But she ended up making a series on her channel soon afterwards called LPS Days. It was like essentially she would tell a story and she would just use like the LPS as like a little B-roll to represent like her and her kids or whatever. She was a vlogger. And a lot of kids did watch this series because I went to her channel, which is MamaKatTV, and one of the first comments I read was,
"Oh my gosh, like where did all your LPS Days videos go?"
She deleted like all of these videos except for like 2, and the 2 that are still up are her most viewed videos, so I'm not really sure why. But this lady doesn't actually post anymore. It's kind of sad whenever I go back and look upon stuff, and like especially with a lot of these LPS tubers, you know, Kappa really got them and they just don't post anymore. Their channels are like essentially abandoned, and it's kind of sad to look back on. But her last 2 videos are about everything being canceled. I guess that includes herself, but like, is it ever really that serious? The reality is the first one is from March of 2020. It's like a first week of quarantine vlog with her kids. And the second one, she just says in the description that she's canceled herself because she hasn't uploaded in a long time. Nothing new, you know, vloggers and their clickbait. One of the first LPS series I watched on YouTube was called LPS Totally Super. It was by an LPS tuber named Eliza LPS, and basically it's about a girl named Lola. She acquires superpowers after getting a potion from her father's lab. She decides to use these powers to protect her city and the people in it, and becomes a superhero named Miss Justice. Her human, like regular form is LPS 339, aka Brooke Hayes from LPS Popular, while her superhero form is the LPS Cat, which is how I became obsessed with the LPS Cat. Like, this series is how I at first thought it was like an LPS custom that this like person did, and I was like, wow, this is so good. But like, I found out through the series it was real LPS, and I was like dumbfounded. Literally all of them online are fake, and I haven't had the chance to like try and get one without feeling like,
"Oh shit, I'm being scammed."
Fear not, I am still searching to this day. I will not rest. If you have the LPS Cat,
You are on my rob list.
I remember being up late at night watching this show on like the family computer, and one of the characters said crap, and my mom comes in and either asked me if someone said that or like, what are you watching type of thing, and I was so spooked by it. I just remember, bro, I literally wasn't allowed to say crap like for so long, well, at least in front of my mom, because then I realized like she'll never know. But anyway, it's safe to say after that incident, I watched YouTube with headphones on only at all times. Well, that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you watched any of these as well, like tell me about it in the comments, or if you have any unofficial core memories from LPStube, let me know them in the comments. I'm really curious to see if I remember them too. Diving into LPStube is always going to be one of my favorite things. I literally wish there was and you know, maybe I should check. I did the LPS iceberg like a year-ish ago, but that didn't really cover the fandom. So if there's one of the fandom, I would love to cover that. I think that'd be so fun. Although I'm not an iceberg channel, I just really love Littlest Pet Shop. I don't know how well you can see them, but they were very hard to set up. There's literally one that couldn't fit. And I will see you guys in my very next video.